Hey everyone, this is Jordan. So this video is a demo from a couple people from the company Carbon6. It was presented by Clayton Atchison, and also sat into the demo was Joseph Melhelm. So this is a demo to discuss some of their software, including Seller Investigators, ScanUnlimited, and also WallySmarter. So there are some exclusive discounts that are in the description of this video below if these are softwares that any of you would like to try out. But Clayton does go into more detail about all these softwares in this demo that he presented here. For some reason, my audio was not coming through in this demo. It does appear that everybody else's audio was coming through in their questions. So when you do see a blank space, it looks like somebody's listening to nothing. That was myself talking. For some reason, my computer did not pick up my audio. It's not that important anyway, so I just decided to still release the video because I do believe it could be valuable to a lot of people. So I hope that you enjoy.
Yeah, guys. So I'm Clayton Atchison. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I moved to San Juan. It's coming up on 5 years now. It'll be 5 years in June. There's great tax benefits down here. I went to the University of Missouri. I graduated, got a job with Altria, working like a 9 to 5. Altria is like a big Fortune 100 company. And I was doing great and loved it, but I knew I wanted to run my own business. So I think in this group, there's a lot of people in arbitrage and wholesale. Is that right? Got it. Yeah. So that's how I started. I did a lot of arbitrage between Amazon and eBay. I started that while I was working at Altria with me and 3 other partners. We built some of our own softwares and had some competitive advantages. Got into selling a bunch of Amazon gift cards back in the day. I used to move like $100,000 in gift cards, making just like a couple of points a day. Made a lot of contacts in that world. And then I got into doing some cryptocurrency arbitrage between the US and South Korea. I made some good money on that. I wound down the Amazon to eBay business. Some of the partners had made enough money that they were getting kind of complacent, a little bit lazy, and just thought it was time to part ways. Still friends with them and everything, just don't do business. And when I moved to Puerto Rico after the cryptocurrency arbitrage win, I started a private label business. So I've been in private label for about 6 years. So I haven't done much wholesale, but I've done a lot of arbitrage and a lot of private label. So that's kind of my background. And then Carbon6, the founder also lives here in Puerto Rico, Justin Cobb. And Carbon6 is, it's building an ecosystem of software tools, a platform where people can go and whether or not they want to do wholesale or arbitrage or private label, wholesale, they can do it. We even have tools and merch, but it started off kind of as a software roll-up, like an acquisition company where we were buying softwares, but not just buying them, improving them. So a lot of times we buy a software that had great tech, but nobody knew about it. It had poor marketing. So we would come in and help with the marketing. And sometimes it's the reverse. Sometimes like bad softwares have thousands of users somehow because they're great marketers. So in that case, we improved the tech. Carbon6 is a pretty new company, coming up on 2 years of being around, but we did a Series A last year, raised $66 million, which was a huge milestone for us. And we're looking to do a Series B in the next year or so. We're up to about 15 different software companies, most of them focused on private label, but we have a couple of great tools in the arbitrage space and wholesale. So that's like I could go on and on about Carbon6 for a long time, but that is the short and sweet of it. And then also from my team, we have Joe, who originally I think was the person that got in contact with you, Jordan. Joe, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, Joe, I'm based out of Toronto. This is kind of my first in on both sales as well as the Amazon space, like I was saying, but it is super cool. Just like seeing what the potential is in this area. So lots of listening and learning for me. I try to just do my best, listen to friends and coworkers. My background, not like I said, not a sales or Amazon. Kind of was an engineer in school, but couldn't find my way to do that. So ended up here, and like I said before, this place is fast paced. It's cool to learn lots of sales, and yeah, I'm excited to be here for sure.
Awesome. Well, guys, I think this is slated for 2 hours. I don't plan on taking all that time. I have 3 different tools that I, hope that you guys can quickly, from a glance, figure out if it can help your businesses or not. I'd love people to ask questions and just make this like a round table to where we can all talk with one another. Am I the only one on video? I think I am. Okay. All right. All good. But yeah, guys. So I have 3 different softwares. I think they're all like extremely reasonably priced, and one of them is basically free. They all have like free trials, and I think they can add immense value. So I guess with that, I'll just like jump into it and start sharing my screen. All right. Yeah, actually, not gonna focus on SoStock so much, if that's okay. Um, but we can talk about it for sure. I brought in another tool that I thought might be interesting. So, um, this is Carbon6. We already talked about it. This is me. I have 10 years plus e-commerce experience. I do a lot of speaking events for Carbon6. I've been selling on private label since 2018. I've also done arbitrage drop shipping between Amazon and Walmart. I was doing that as recently as last year, like late last year. It was really like mostly 2 years ago, but did millions of dollars in arbitrage on that. And I've done many tens of millions on between Amazon and eBay. So the first tool is ScanUnlimited. It's a bulk scanning software that allows you to source smarter by quickly scanning wholesale product lists to find profitable, fast-selling products. So actually, I probably should have like logged into this before, but let me just log in and show you guys how it works. I can show you in like 5 minutes. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so this is the ScanUnlimited dashboard. There's a bunch of like fancy tools between exchange rates and different things you can do if you're buying from different countries and selling in different countries. And we have a bunch of training and YouTube channel and a Facebook group if you need help. But the 90% of the functionality you're going to see in like the next 20 seconds. So if you have a file, and this is where the magic kind of happens, is if you have a file from a distributor, this one will work. Yeah. So usually you get this like long list of, and I guess I could like open it up. I'm assuming like, I don't know at what level everybody is. So yeah, kind of making some assumptions here. What, like on the call, does anybody mind like shouting out like where they're at in their journey with Awesome. Okay. So with wholesale, I just got back from ASD, one of the biggest wholesale conferences in the world, and there's the room is full of people that are, distributors and have all sorts of different products. And one of the things you can ask them for is a list of products, and it's going to look like this in a CSV file. It's going to have, the description of the product, the unit price, and UPC number. But with this, like, you don't have a ton of information. You're kind of like, okay, sweet, I can buy all these products, but like, will I make money, or how are they selling, or what's going on? So what you can do is compare all of these products and the prices that they're offering to sell it to you for to Amazon. So I just got that exact same list, and now we're going to tell the software how to map it, right? Like how to take that file and how to like make sense of it. So the first line of the list was just product list, but that doesn't mean anything. The real columns are in this line. So we're going to click on the second line here, and you can see the names of the products, the prices, and everything else. But now we're going to tell the software how to make sense of this. So we're searching by UPC because that's the unique identifier. And we're going to do the same thing here. So we're searching by UPC in the file. And then on Amazon, we're going to also search on UPC. You can pick different marketplaces, but for now, we're just going to do US. And then it's asking, hey, where's the cost column? Where's the cost? Like, is it under page? Is it under case? Obviously, here it's under unit price. If I mess up and I click description, it's going to tell you that's not right. But if I click the right one, unit price, everything's green, we're good to go. And we just click start, and this file, not sure exactly how many units, it has 1,390 different products. And you can see right now, in live time, what it's doing is it's scraping tons of information from Amazon to figure out where you could or could not make a profit. And it's going to give you like tons of data that you can filter and save you like hundreds of hours of work if you were to pay a VA to do this manually. So it's already done. We can do any list up to 100,000. If you have more than 100,000 products, then you have to separate it into more than one list. So there's actually some duplicates here. It says there's 1,773 items on this list. And here they all are. But again, you just have a huge list of products, and you can see that we have the brand. We pulled in the price from Amazon here, and we can calculate your net profit. We assume that you're using FBA, and it'll pull in the price that it's selling on Amazon, the price that you can buy it for, the referral fee Amazon charges, and just basically all of the charges, including the shipping for the FBA fee. If you're not using FBA, you can click this button and you can put in your own shipping costs as well. So it's very customizable. But we pulled in all of this information. You can see a bunch of red. All of this red is saying you're going to lose money. This offers is the number of people that are selling the same SKU. And then there's a bunch of information we don't have yet. I'll get to that in a minute. But we pull in a ton of information. With all of this stuff, you can filter it and say, I don't care about the sales rank, or I don't care about the package quantity or whatever. And you can turn these off and on with the click of a button. You can also move them around. So very customizable for whatever you need. But the real money is in filtering them. So you can create presets for whatever fits your business. So if you want to do low margin and high quantity, you can set low ROIs. If you want, if you don't have a ton of money to invest and you're like, I just need super profitable products right away, you can put something like this where it's an ROI of 70% or greater, a seller's rank on Amazon of 100,000 greater or 300,000 or greater, and I want to make at least $2 on every single purchase. So if you click this button, it's going to put these filters in, and you click back over here, and then within seconds, it's going to put in all of those filters. So now we just went from 1,600 or 1,700 items to 74. We're not done yet. You guys can still hear me, yeah? Okay, cool. Just making sure because I can't see. So after that, we're not done yet. We can click over here and we can do what's called a power up. And when you click power up, it's going to put in all this information we didn't have before right here. The reason you wait to do the power up until after you filter out the ROIs is this takes a little bit of time to scan all this data, and you don't want to be scanning data for this if you know that it's unprofitable anyways. But after we do this, we can see that what the sales rank is over the last 30 and 90 days. And we can see this, whether or not Amazon has the buy box or not. So generally, I don't like competing against Amazon. So I would say, hey, I don't want Amazon to have the buy box. So we'll filter that. We'll click add and we'll apply that filter. Okay, now we're down to 2 products. So these are 2 products that Amazon does not have the buy box for, that met our ROI requirements. You can see the ROI here is incredible, but the net profit per item is not crazy. You're going to make $5 a product, but the sales rank is very good. It's a very high selling item. Amazon doesn't have the buy box. you can continue to filter these down. Every time I run this, it changes. Like I ran this at ASD, and this number was like 19. Sometimes it's 20. Sometimes it's 1. It just changes all the time. You can also say, I want reviews greater than 4 stars. Like I don't want any products that are going to have high returns. So let's apply the filters there. Luckily, these products both have great reviews. So these are the products you would say, hey, okay, I want to put these on my favorites. You can add them to a list. And I'm going to reach out to the supplier and start negotiating for these 2 products because these are the products I'm interested in. I can also,
sorry to cut you off.
Thank God.
But,
no, I love questions.
I was just thinking because I've used the trial on ScanUnlimited before, so like just like the 1 scan a month or whatever. I know that some catalogs, they don't have unit price, they have like case pack pricing. So they'll say like how many units are per case and then how much is the case cost. Is there a way you can like just divide those automatically and calculate unit price, or is that something you have to do kind of afterwards? Like, is there a way to bake that into the scan or no? I guess you can make a column beforehand.
Yeah, I was gonna say in Excel you can just add an extra column and rename it whenever you're mapping it, and just divide it by 12 or whatever the case size is. So yeah, that's very doable. There is a case price in as well whenever you're like if things are being sold by the case. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. If you're trying to sell it by the unit, I would just add an extra column. And
I realize after I asked the question, it's a pretty easy fix.
You're all good. You're all good, man. Yeah. So I mostly sell in the U.S. And most sellers I know sell in the U.S. You guys can still see my screen, right? Okay. Let me get back to that in just a second. All right. Let me just finish this real quick. So you can hover over here, and you can also see, like you just mentioned, Keepa. You can see this here. If you click this investigator tool, this is the very last piece I tell people to take a look at, so they understand the price difference over time. Like this is a snapshot. If it's telling you this is how much money you can make right now, that's a snapshot, like how much you can make right now. It doesn't mean that you can always make that much money. This looks like a great product because if you're following the price over the past 30 days, it looks like the price has often been even higher. And considering you can still make money when the price is low, right now it's like around $9.48. But you'd want to understand, hey, over 90 days, over 365 days, what is the price here? How low can it get? Will I be able to always sell this at a profit? Like this here looks like it was around $6 for some time. At that price, you're not going to make much money. So understanding the yearly outlook on this is important. And you can look at it from a 30, 90-day yearly average. Now, let's get back to your question. So if we click new scan, yeah? And you're saying, mm-hmm. Yep. So what it's doing is it's scraping the data from Amazon. So you can change the marketplace here to Canada, but whatever's showing on the Canadian marketplace, to your point, is going to show like that. That's the numbers it's going to pull. So when you go to, if you're on Amazon Canada and you type in a product, whatever the review count there that it's showing is what it's going to show inside of ScanUnlimited. The review count has been kind of weird over the years. Like it used to be, I sold in Australia for a little while, and for a while, and it was a pain because I had like 4,000 5-star reviews on some of my private label items. And then when I went to Australia, it showed those reviews until you got your first Australian review, and then it showed one review. And it was awful because I lost like 4,000 reviews overnight. And they said, yeah, that's how it's supposed to work, because in case like electronics, like you're selling one and it doesn't have the same adapter and it's terrible for Australians, we don't want them thinking it's a great product. But that's changed over time. And now, you're supposed to be able to share reviews across marketplaces. So I don't know if that answers your question. I think the quick answer is it's whatever is showing on Amazon Canada. So if you wanted to just separate Canadian reviews from US reviews, I don't think that capability is there. Yep. So any other questions?
Jordan, sorry, go ahead.
One question I did have, I noticed that, you mentioned that it pulls the Amazon, prep fees and referral fees, etc., as well as you can choose versus FBA versus MFN. Can you add your own custom cost in? Like if you have a prep center, you want to add $1 worth more of cost in there. So, it reflects in the ROI and profit numbers, similar to like, Seller Amp being a prime example of that.
Yeah, 1,000%. You can also add in like discounts and premiums. Like if you have a prep fee, you can put it here. If you have a discount because you're really cool with this supplier, or you're a repeat customer, you can put it there. And I think if you click here for MFN, trying to remember, there's another place. There's somewhere else where you can, on the shipping fee, change like.
And I guess since you have US and Canada on here in terms of currency, if you were to upload the same sheet again, like is this a US supplier or a Canadian supplier? Does it automatically convert Canadian versus US and allows you to do that math, or is it Canada to Canada only, or vice versa?
Yeah, so there's the numbers that it's going to pull is going to be pulled. I can't remember exactly where it's at. It's somewhere in here. There's a place where you can change the settings to where even if you know that even if you are selling FBA and you have a prep fee at a warehouse, but you also have a shipping cost to Amazon, right? Like let's say you want to sell FBA, but you also for some reason have them in your warehouse before, so there's a prep fee, but you also have a shipping fee into Amazon. There's a way to manually add that. And then regarding pricing, anything that it's pulling data from on Amazon is going to be in whatever currency that is. So if you do it in Mexican, it's going to be in pesos, and everything's going to look super expensive. And then same thing with Canada. You guys are asking good questions. I should have been prepared for the Canadians. So the quick answer is 100% you can do it. There's teaching. If you go here on the YouTube or community, you can set up monthly community calls. There's also training. Let me see if I can figure this out live. So I'm thinking that there is a way to do this in the settings, and I can get back to you after I talk to Philip. Philip lives in Poland, and he is not awake right now. But I was fully transparent with you guys that I have not sold a ton of wholesale. I do private label and arbitrage, so I'll be better at the other questions for the other tools. But similar to the other guy's question, you could add an Excel file with the exchange rate. Like this would be the janky way of doing it. Would be adding an Excel column, putting in the exchange rate for the prices that are available from your distributor, from the wholesale, the original Excel file list, and then any data that's pulled is going to be pulled from Amazon. So then the numbers would, match up obviously. But anything like when you pick the marketplace, everything is going to switch to Canadian, but the Excel file, the software is not going to know that it's Canadian. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. The Excel trick would work out, I think. Yeah. Allows you to kind of update the exchange rate based on what you kind of work with, based on your credit card, etc. So yeah.
Right. And in full transparency, I think there's probably a way to do it automatically, but if I were to do it live, that's how I would do it right now. Are you guys even though you're in Canada, are you guys primarily selling in Canada or are you primarily selling in the US? Because I talk to people in Europe, Australia all the time, Dubai, the UAE, and a lot of them, surprisingly, are all in the US market. I don't know how they do it because they're halfway across the world, and you would think that chatting with people from support and a million other things would become difficult, but they do it. So you guys are same time zone. Where are most of you guys selling? Is it in the Canadian marketplace?
Probably most of us are selling in Canada. Yeah, I think there's a handful that ship it over, but yeah, I think for the most part, mostly people are selling in Canada from Canada. I think so.
Okay.
Hard to guess.
Majority of
No
my
worries.
stuff
Yeah.
is from Canada.
Okay. Anybody else? Got it. Almost like certainly, like 1000%. Here's where you can do the shipping cost per pound if you're shipping it into Amazon. Almost 1000%. There's an easier way to do it than what I explained. But anyways, guys, that's without watching me fumble around and try to figure that out. That's ScanUnlimited in a nutshell. I think I have a presentation here. It's $60 a month.
Hey Clayton, is there a limit to how many scans you can do?
Great question. On the free trial, the one the guy was mentioning that he's used before, it's one and it's forever. So you can do one per month. On the paid version, there's only two versions, free and paid. There's no different tiers or anything. It's a monthly subscription and it's $60. And that one has, like the name sounds, unlimited, ScanUnlimited. So as many scans as you want. We have people do hundreds a week, crazy volume, and then we have people that do 2 a week. But yeah, there's no limit. It's one of, like, as far as pricing goes, one of our, I would say in the wholesale and the arbitrage space is like some of our most fairly priced tools. So it's $60 a month. And whoops. Yeah, there's a 30-day trial, which was a special ASD offer that I had going on last week. And this is a QR code if you guys want to scan it, but it's just going to take you to ScanUnlimited.com. All you guys have to do is just go there. You can sign up for the free trial to make sure it works for you. And then if you like it, you can upgrade. It's $60 a month. I tell people, Jordan, sounds like you use ScanUnlimited. If you're serious about wholesale or business in general, I never hear people complain that they're going broke because of software. I hear about decreasing prices, the difficulty of making partnerships, a lot of other things. But $60 a month, if you find one product that is profitable, you should hopefully, God willing, make $60 on it a month, or hopefully a whole lot more. But the magic in this, is, of course, is getting the lists. Without lists, it's pretty useless. Yeah. So I know the answer. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to tell you. I guess I'll just tell you. We have, like, sometimes, like, if it's free, and you're not buying the product, you are the product, right? So when you connect to ScanUnlimited, you have to connect with your Amazon credentials. And we have like 60,000 like free users. And so we're able to ping in real time the Amazon website from like a million different places and get the data in like live time. So that's why we're incredibly fast. Like there's other tools that do this, but they're much, much, much slower. So updated constantly is the quick answer. No, I 100% agree. I don't recommend searching by keyword. Without a unique identifier, it's difficult. It's way less accurate. I mean, it works, but you're right. It's slower and it's less accurate. There's no getting around that. Any other questions, or otherwise I can move on to another tool.
Yeah, I'm interested in some of the other ones too. I think ScanUnlimited, it's self-explanatory.
Awesome. Okay, let's do it. I love you guys. Like sometimes I'm on webinars and people are like super shy. So I love that you guys are like asking questions. Like that's what it's here for. So, I'm wondering, let's just go to this one. I was going to do it in a different order, but I feel like this makes more sense because we're talking about ScanUnlimited, and this is a very similar product, but it's for a slightly different purpose. This is more online arbitrage. So this is WallySmarter. It's one of our tools, and it's one of our newest tools, to be transparent. And basically, it's to help you find online arbitrage opportunities between Amazon and Walmart. So let me just do this real fast. So this was like a similar presentation I used at ASD to say Walmart is growing. Walmart has a ton of fulfillment centers within like 90% of the US population. So that's one of the few advantages Walmart has over Amazon. They're both huge. They both have huge amounts of money to invest. Amazon's far behind on the like fulfillment centers when you consider like what Amazon's built, their partnerships with UPS, FedEx, etc. But Walmart's of similar size, and they're able to negotiate incredibly profitable deals for themselves and pass those savings along to their customers. And Walmart's growing, like it is growing. And so I did Amazon to Walmart arbitrage 2 years ago. That was before WallySmarter existed. And this is WallySmarter. It's kind of like a few different things. You can see over here on the left that it has a bunch of different places to click and things to do. It has a Walmart extension, which I'll show you guys first. So a bunch of people are using the extension. This is like more of like if you're up on a stage talking about, why people are using the extension. But it has been scraping and like recording data in like a manner like similar to Keepa, including like sales, titles. Like it has it's a great database of information. WallySmarter is, and this is what the extension looks like. So you can, like in this example, I typed in, and I can show it to you live too, but I typed in a keyword weighted hula hoop. You're able to see things like the price trend, sales trend for different products, the price, how many monthly sales there are. Generally speaking, it's much less than Amazon. The ratings and the listing quality score. You have some information up here. You can download things, but this is all on the extension. And then this is actually in the product database. Like there's how-to videos all over WallySmarter. But if you said, hey, they have these like drop downs here. I can't zoom in on just look at my mouse right here where it says first timer. These are the presets that they put based on categories that they think are like less competitive, and you're not going to run into like gated things and things like that. These are the pre-settings you have. So if you want to, you can just click, show products, and it'll start showing you products that meet these criteria, that are in these categories, that are between a price of 20 to 40, have at least 100 monthly sales, and you can put as many filters in your own desires as you wish, and then it'll start showing you products. And this is more from like the wholesale perspective, right? Figuring out like, hey, are there any of these products that I could maybe try to go to the manufacturer and look for? But it also has a keyword level based where it says like what the product rank is and what the monthly search volume on Walmart is. So this like third one is in Spanish, which like has huge search volume, but like a lot of people might not pay attention to. So it'll give you insights into a lot of this. And you can click find a possible supplier here, and it'll show you Alibaba. You can see it on Walmart. You can see the price history, the sales history, and you can also add it to a rank tracker. If you click on price history, this is what it'll show you over time. So it has the history of the price over time. It also has the product position. If you're looking at a particular product like this office chair, it'll tell you, like similar to Amazon, where it was ranking when somebody typed in office chair. Was this showing up as number 1, number 15, etc. And if you want to, you can just grab a URL and just throw it in a sales estimator, and it'll tell you, like any URL, if you're on Walmart and you're just immediately curious, hey, I wonder how much this sells per year, you can throw it in the sales estimator. Then similar, and I don't have a template for this, but this is basically exactly what ScanUnlimited is, but for Walmart. So you upload a list, and it'll tell you the price, reviews, estimated sales, your projected profit per product. And there's videos on WallySmarter showing you how to do this. So we kind of just went through, like, this is more like the wholesale side. And this can also give you ideas for like private label. So technically, WallySmarter can be used for private label, for wholesale, if you have a branded product that you're looking for. But it could also give you product ideas if you want to do private label. And then last over here is where it comes into arbitrage. And I'll just show you guys. I feel like it's where I was presenting last week, the like Wi-Fi was awful. But you can click over here for reseller tools, Walmart wholesale. It's literally just going to take you to what I just had a screenshot of. And if you want to do arbitrage, it literally is like pulling the newest to oldest products. Like products are constantly being uploaded on Walmart. And you can choose up here, like, hey, do I want to sell on Amazon or do I want to sell on Walmart? And if you don't care, if you have accounts on both, you can say, I'm down to have it either way. I don't care which way. But if you say, hey, I just want to sell on Walmart, and I just want to source from Amazon, then you can do that. And it'll tell you these products that it's like literally pulling up in like live time and what the ROI is. It's not always perfect. Like these shoes right now, like I've done some investigation, and a lot of times like the size will be different. You need to obviously do some research and make sure that the model is the same. But the other thing you can do is go into advanced filters, and you can say, hey, I need a return of investment of at least 40%, and I want the price not to be that high, or whatever makes sense for you. Like this is starting off with the monthly unit sales of 100. Like I think that's way too low. I like to work in volume myself, and if you want a certain price difference, you can do whatever you want. But then you click show products, and it'll show you additional products. So you can start searching, like, let's see here. This says a return on investment. Like I'm always careful with stuff like this because the sizing, like clothes, I'm careful about. But anything that's not like this, you can just click. You can see the price history if you want. But you can also see it on Walmart, and then you can see it on Amazon and check to make sure that this is the exact right product. Okay, in this case, it looks like the same to me. Double checking. Yeah, it looks like the exact same product. So it's $30.97 on Walmart. It's $12.79 on Amazon. Has a ton of reviews. And let's see what the monthly sales are. So it says the monthly sales on Walmart are 275. So again, it's just a huge repository of data to like help you make decisions. It doesn't mean like buy this right now, but it gives you ideas, and you can do a ton of different filters. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me go back to my presentation and see if I'm forgetting anything.
So that first thing you showed, was just like kind of like a like something to give you ideas, like kind of like a keep a scan type of thing, just see what's moving and whatnot, and then you can see like where it ranks. But that's all on the Walmart side. And then the second thing is just like an arbitrage between Amazon to Walmart, and if you want to go either way, it can find opportunities that way.
That's exactly right. Yeah, like it's kind of trying to be a catch-all. Like, hey, if you're looking to like similar to like Jungle Scout or Helium 10 or Managed by Stats or Seller Tools, it's if you want to do private label, it's saying like, hey, what's selling on Walmart? What meets these criteria? Where are there opportunities that I could sell in private label and also in wholesale? The last part was, of course, arbitrage, giving you opportunities and ideas about what's selling well and what's not. And I might be able to just also show you. I'm not sure if that answered your question. This might be selling tools.
Cool.
You see,
I'm sure the question is going to come, but does this all work on Walmart.ca/Amazon.ca?
Damn, that's a good question. Let's test it. So as you can see, like you can run the extension here as well. So I showed you this in a screenshot, but this is giving you live data inside the extension. Is it just Walmart.ca?
Yeah, it should be. Not
Are you human? I feel like I am. I feel good about this. We're gonna try it.
Damn.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I might lose you guys for a second. I'm gonna switch VPNs and try this.
Do we really have no Walmart fulfillment here?
I think we do have third-party sellers on Walmart you can apply to sell, but from what I've heard, it's not as
You have to
wide.
fulfill it yourself, I guess.
As
Pretty
well as
stringent too.
try to even become a Walmart third-party seller, it's not as easy as Amazon. They're very picky on who actually applies and gets to sell.
Yeah, I got rejected.
Damn.
So the quick answer is no. So I'm on a Canadian VPN, so it let me be in as a human, but no, the extension at least does not work. So with that assumption, I assume none of it works.
That's fair. I knew the question would have came anyway, so I just thought we'd check it.
No, I appreciate it. It used to be hard to get approved on Walmart in the US. Like the floodgates kind of opened. It was like, I want to say 6 months ago. Like it became a lot easier to sell on Walmart in the US. There was a time where like when I was doing arbitrage, I was paying like 10 grand for Walmart accounts. I had like 4 and then I bought like 3 or 4. But yeah, people were slinging Walmart accounts. Because it made sense, if you had the volume and if an account got shut down for breaking TOS, like shipping in Amazon boxes, things like that, it was just good to have a bunch of accounts. So I think that it'll probably get easier over time to get accounts in Canada as well. But I recommend selling in the US if you find the products and it makes sense. Like you guys can obviously jump through the hoops. There's a ton of people to help with that type of thing to take advantage of that as well. Like I've mostly sold in the U.S. I've sold in Australia, sold in Canada as well. But most of my sales, like I have little experience in Europe. Most of my sales have come in the U.S. So I think we went over this. Oh yeah, just like this was an example of me finding different products. These 3 products made sense when I ran this last week. Like all of these products were profitable. They had good ROI. And on the last one, like you can see these monthly sales were only 13 and 9. If you get enough of those and you buy 3 months worth of inventory, you're buying 27 units or whatever. If you get enough of those that are making good money on it, it adds up quickly. So you can do that. But I was just looking for one with 220 monthly sales volume. And that was what I showed in this presentation. This is a screenshot of the step-by-step video education. So if you guys are curious, the how-to videos here, there's step-by-steps for like pretty much everything I went over. What else do we got? Okay, so there's 2 different plans. There's a $19 a month plan, and there's a $99 a month plan. I think me log out, that there's a discount for doing it yearly. I'm not sure exactly how much it is. Yeah, so if you do it yearly, it looks like it's like 33% off. So $66 a month if you do it yearly. If you do it monthly, you only get 5 searches a day, which, I mean, that's going to run out pretty quickly. And then we have an offer for you guys that we made. It's called Serendipity 30. It gets you 30% off. What I'll tell you guys is that, like, the tool's like getting better quickly. Like, it's already good, but where it was at, like, when I first was introduced to the tool, I was in Australia at an event. We had just purchased it recently. The creator of it, his name is Lewis. He lives in Australia. He's originally from South Africa, but he used to live in New Zealand. And anyway, super cool guy, extremely like responsive and cares about the product an immense amount. And so the product's just getting better all the time. Like where it was 5 months ago was extremely like useful. Like the bones were there, but it wasn't pretty to look at. Like it was kind of ugly. And anyway, they have a few different developers on it, and they're responding to people's like desires. Like if you have things you want added or things functionality you wish existed, they're putting it in like very, very quick turnaround. So it's a good tool that a lot of people don't know about. I didn't know about it 6 months ago, and I was in the Amazon to Walmart game I just got out like about a year ago, and that's because basically all of my accounts got shut down at once, and it was like a hellstorm, and I had Carbon6 and a million other things to worry about. But I still know people in the game making heaps of money doing it. Do you guys have any questions on that one? You bet. You bet. Yeah, I imagine it will. I don't see why it wouldn't. It just, it follows the volume. And I haven't spent that much time in Canada, to be honest, but I assume there's Walmarts. So people are familiar with the name. And from a time zone perspective, usually Canada is like the next step. It's like US, Canada, Europe. But Walmart's not big in Europe, so I think Canada would be the next logical step. But in the meantime, like I do recommend you guys try to sell in the US if you get the chance. If the money's there, it's worth jumping through the hoops. Yep. All right. Any other questions, or should I move on to the last thing? Okay.
I'm good to
I'll take
move.
that as the last thing. So, the last thing is our reimbursement tool. It's Seller Investigators. So let me just I'll probably just talk to you guys because I feel like we're in a chill group. So if you guys how many people here are selling like Amazon FBA?
Probably all of us.
Okay.
Not a lot of FBM in Canada.
Okay, cool. So, I sell FBA as well. Stuff goes missing, stuff gets lost. You ship it into Amazon, it can get lost. If you send 1,000 products, this happens to me literally weekly, where it says, hey, 1,000 products shipped in, we got 980 ready to go, and they just don't automatically reimburse you for the other 20. So there's 20 missing. You have to wait like 30 days for them to finish their, inbounding process. But at the end, they just say, yeah, we got 980. We added them to your inventory, and those 20 units are just missing. Then after that, Amazon redistributes products all over the United States. There's warehouses everywhere, and to make sure that they're meeting their 2-day or sometimes 1-day promises, they ship them, if you ship into California, they reship some to Miami, some to New York, Chicago, etc. And during that process, stuff gets lost. And I don't know if you've ever seen the inside of an Amazon warehouse, but they're massive, they're huge, there's a bunch of machines, and stuff gets lost and stuff gets damaged. Stuff falls off, stuff breaks. Usually the smaller the unit, the easier it gets lost. And Amazon won't reimburse you that money automatically. And it's an entirely burdensome process to try to get the money back. You have to open up cases. You have to wait for them to respond. Then you have to respond within 5 days. If you don't respond within 5 days, they close the case and you're back to the beginning. And if you're doing any volume, it just becomes a huge burden to do that over time. So Seller Investigators does that process for you. We have a team of 100 people. It's over 100 now, but over 100 people in the Philippines that manually open those cases. That's what they're expert at. That's what they do. Seller Investigators has been around for about 5 years. And full transparency, it's been like a shining star in the Carbon6 suite of tools because they're really, really good at what they do. There's other services out there that do the same thing. And just being straight up with you guys, so many companies are switching to Seller Investigators for the same process because we find more. I don't think that necessarily other tools aren't finding the same cases that we're finding. I think they probably are, but that they're just not going after them. Some of the leading competitors that we have, most of their employee base is in the United States, and they're paying their employees, $20 an hour, $25 an hour. So when they see a $25 case, and by the way, this is a free service. You don't pay unless we get money reimbursed for you, and Amazon pays you. So we only get paid after you get paid. And that's how pretty much all the services work. That's like an industry standard. But other companies, if they see a $25 case, they're just not going to go after it because, 25% is the standard. So if you're talking about a $25 case, you're talking about $7, and they're paying their employee $20, and it just doesn't make sense for them from a financial perspective. So we have been coming in behind other companies and just doing free audits. We do free audits, and we'll just, there's no obligation. We'll just take a look at your account, and we'll tell you if the system you have in process or in place right now is working well, or if you're missing stuff, or if the service you have is missing stuff. We don't get beat on price. Any service you have in place right now, it's all based on volume. It starts at 25%, but it goes down. One of our clients is the biggest Amazon seller in the world, Pattern. It's an accelerator out of Salt Lake City. They do $1.5 billion on Amazon every year. They had another competitor, and I'll show you. I'm getting into it now, but it's in the slides if you guys care to see it. But I just feel like it's easier to explain it. It's a reimbursement company. It saves you money and time. There's direct deposit directly to your account from Amazon, and we have this super awesome transparent dashboard, which I can show you guys. I might have to cut off my screen for just a second so you don't see any sensitive data, but I'll show you that in a second. This is 100% TOS compliant. It's a process that Amazon allows you to do. This is an example of somebody's account. We've already recovered $11,000. There's another $1,900 pending. And I am gonna cut off the share screen for just a second so I can show you what I'm talking about. And I just always use the same account that my buddy allows me to. And just show you that we go after $4 cases, $3 cases, everything. But it adds up. And nobody else is doing that.
So is this kind of like a hands-off process? You guys would go in and check out, I'm assuming you look at the inbound shipments and stuff and find the discrepancies or whatever, or do we have to say, hey, we have this shipment, there's a discrepancy, do the case? And then if we need invoices, or I know I've had some of them where they request invoices or whatever, prove that you actually send those items, and then it's just a back and forth with you guys to send you the invoice and then you continue working on the case, or how does that work?
Yeah, so good questions all around. Generally speaking, it should be completely hands-off. But there are limitations, and we have to work within it's Amazon's sandbox. So we work within Amazon sandbox. If you're brand registered, which I'm assuming most of you guys are not, if you're doing online arbitrage and wholesale, if you are doing private label, and you're brand registered, we don't need invoices. We can just do packing lists. So we can generate the packing list for you, and all we need is a signature of you saying, yes, I did indeed send that package or that shipment, and stuff was actually lost. If you're not brand registered, which I think is more fair for you guys, then yeah, sometimes Amazon will request invoices. But to answer your other question, you won't have to tell us like, hey, stuff's missing. We do that. We're part of the Amazon Seller Central Partner Network, which means we have access to an API where we'll get permissions into your account to reconcile and say, hey, this person sent in 100, they only got 950, where are these other 50? And then we'll open up a case, and if you're not brand registered, they will ask for invoices. So what a lot of our clients do is if they have invoices, they'll just put them in a shared Google Drive folder, and our workforce in the Philippines can access that folder if you're comfortable with that. And most of the time, we don't have to bother you at all. And the other thing is, for smaller cases, if 10 units are missing or 5 or something, or 25, Amazon usually doesn't request a ton of information, and our team is trained like highly to battle back and say, hey, this is a $200 case. You're wasting my time. Give us our money back. According to TOS, we don't have to provide documentation for this amount or less. And so there's we do everything we can to like not involve you. But on larger cases, they will. They'll say, hey, we need an invoice proving you made this purchase and you actually own this inventory. And at that point, we will have to ask you for an invoice. If you share your invoices with us in a file, then 99% of the time, we don't have to bother you with that process. And then regarding any shipping, if it's a really big case, they'll say, I want an invoice, I want a bill of lading. You can also share your bill of ladings with us. But if you're ever using Amazon partner carriers, so if you're using, if you're doing your shipments with Amazon and receiving the Amazon discounts that they have through FedEx, UPS, etc., a lot of times they'll ask for that too. They'll say, we need this. And again, our team is like, you already have that information. Like pull up the reimbursement ID, the shipment ID, you have this. And so to the extent that it's possible, we keep you uninvolved. But it's a really good question. I'm going to share my screen again. And I don't even know what the most recent cases are, but we'll look. So this is the same case. I took a screenshot of this last week. So similar numbers. You can see the potential pending reimbursements went down. Probably means this number went up. And if you click in here to cases, this is another thing that Seller Investigators has that like no other company has done nearly as well as us, is we have everything hyperlinked in here. So if you click this button, you can open it. Reimbursement IDs, you can open it and see everything. And as you can see, like these values here, $6, $4, there's some larger cases in here too, but we go after like every single dollar amount, no matter how small. So if you look into like other competitors' accounts, you just won't see this. Like it's not standard. And the other thing, and I think that pretty much wraps it up, that we do is reversal reports. So you can see in here any things that were reversed. These are small amounts, but it can be huge money. So let's say that a product goes missing and it's like a $5,000 case. $5,000 in units go missing. That happens all the time. A company takes their a company like us opens up a case. We ask Amazon to investigate. They look for the product and they say, yeah, we didn't find it. So they say, here's your $5,000. The $5,000 is reimbursed to your Amazon Seller Central account. And then the company takes their 25%, which I don't know what, like $1,250. And that's the way it's supposed to work. Like everything's good. But you fast forward 30 days later and Amazon says, just kidding. We found the products, and that happens a lot. So then they say, we're going to take our $5,000 back. They immediately debit your account for $5,000. And every other company that exists, no matter how small the case or how big, they keep the original $1,250 unless you let them know about it. And you say, hey, this was a reversal. We would like our money back. And then they have to investigate and look into it, which is, in my opinion, ridiculous, because now you're opening up cases with the service that you're paying to open up cases on your behalf. It's just like a joke. And we're the only company that does that. So we're completely transparent. We show you those reversals in its own category on the dashboard. And we just had a guy the other day that switched from another company that does $115 million. just to give you guys like an idea of numbers, you know, on a $115 million account, we'd expect about sometimes a little bit higher to 2% of revenue goes missing for like a private label seller. Wholesale, lots of products. If you sell mini SKUs, the number's usually closer to 2%. But this guy owned all his own products. You'd expect it to be around 1%. So 115 million, 1% of that's 1.15 million. We did an audit for him, and we found $500,000 that the other service had not found. And $90,000 was going to expire in the next 30 days if we didn't go after it. And on the reversal side, he'd paid over $60,000 in reversals in the past 18 months. So with this process, what we're allowed to do, again, Amazon Sandbox, is we're allowed to look backwards in time for 18 months for lost and damaged inventory. And we're allowed to look back 9 months for anything that's missing inbound. So generally, if nobody's ever done this before, we can do an audit in 24 to 48 hours and tell you, hey, this is how much is eligible for recovery. And with that information, you can say, I want to go do it myself, or I want to hire somebody, or, oh, it's not that big of a number, my process is good. That rarely ever happens. And the other, option is to hire us to go after that. But usually people get a decent check right off the jump. Obviously, it's connected to how much revenue you're doing. But I think that's mostly it. Let me see if there's anything I'm forgetting here. So this was just an example. We have extreme clarity and transparency, like I talked about. We also have great support. We also work in the US, UK, EU. We work in Australia, Singapore, the UAE, Dubai. And this is just a quick slide saying that, we have people working in the Philippines, but Robert, who's right here on the bottom right, his wife is from the Philippines. He's spent many years living there. He lives in New York now, originally from New York, but the community where the employees are from had undernourishment of like 60%. Like people were basically starving. He has donated lots of money to the community to where that has gone down to zero. And he's put 40 people with full scholarships through college. And he provides 150 free lunches to all the schools per day in his community. And, calling a spade, the labor is cheaper, and that's what allows us to go after every single dollar. And this was just a case study of the number one accelerator I told you guys about, where we found in spite of the accelerator down here already using a reputable competitor, we found $4.5 million that the other company missed. This was the breakdown of how many cases they had not taken care of, 12,000 cases. This is $3.5 million on missing inbound, $200,000 on loss and damage. And so, other companies are making our job very easy because they're not doing a good job. So the process is you sign up for a free audit. We review your inventory. At this point, you're able to decide whether or not you want to work with us. And if you do, we submit your cases, you get paid, and then afterwards, we get paid. So that's pretty much it, guys. Like, it's something that if you don't use us, you have to use somebody, or you have to have somebody doing it. It takes a ton of time. It sucks. I used to use a company called Riverbend Consulting whenever I first started because I didn't know about seller investigators. But like if you guys are selling anything online, it's a must, because if 1 to 2% of your revenue is going missing, depending on your margins, that could be in the private label space. People are working on 20% margins. So if 2% goes missing, and you can add that to your bottom line, it's a 10% increase in your bottom line. For profit. So it's a necessity to have. If you don't use us, I highly recommend you use somebody. And prices are negotiable. And Joe's on the call, and anybody that is interested in learning more or negotiating based on your size, Joe is your man. Joe, do you want to share your email or how people can get in contact with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll drop my email in this Discord if you guys even want to just like tag me in the Discord. I'm not like the best with it, but I'll definitely be able to like respond here, and we could take it to an email or you shoot me a call. That'd be great. Yep.
It's the story I hear like a million times over, man. I usually deal with like pretty large accounts, and I always make a joke. They're like, "Well, you think we're gonna find anything?" I was like, "I don't know, but if we do, you're buying lunch." And so I got a bunch of free lunches all over the U.S. But the joke is on me because I got to fly there. But yeah, man. I mean, if you find somebody, $1 million, which I've done, people are just like, "How do I repay you?" And I'm like, "Man, this is your money. Like, I'd rather it be in your pocket than in Jeff Bezos's." It's your money. It's your money. It's just Amazon makes it a pain in the ass to go get it. Like they do it on purpose. They make it like it's required that you do it manually. That you file the cases like with an actual human. If they catch anybody doing it programmatically, they lose their API access. They get banned. They purposely make it manual and difficult and painful to get that money back because if you don't get it back, they get to keep it. And yeah, $5,000 is fantastic. That's a nice vacation for you and the lady.
And if I may add, they're pretty unbiased. Small sellers, big sellers, they're unbiased on like losing the stock, but it means more to the seller that's just starting to kind of get as much cash flow in per month. So it's definitely a tool that I think is super helpful, and any size. Save your time, save your headspace. Just have it running in the background.
1,000%. If you're doing 100 grand a year, $2,000 a year, or a grant, or at least 1,000 a year. And if we can go backwards in time for 18 months on some of it, 9 months on the rest of it, I mean, that's right away. And then this is an ongoing process. So it's not like we look at it once and then we're done. You're going to keep that money moving forward. You won't have any cases that are close to expiring, and we'll be getting that money back for you weekly. So it helps your cash flow, and it just makes you look like a more healthy business. If you're looking to raise money or anything else, it's a necessity, honestly.
On the I was gonna say, on that note of it being continuous, is there a methodology behind tracking cases or opening them? Like, is it done once per week, or is it based on your APIs? It alerts you, or I'm assuming there's a system behind that.
Yeah, great question. So when you first onboard, for obvious reasons, we work with the oldest cases first. So anything that's about to expire, we immediately open cases to make sure that money we can get back before it becomes expired and we're not allowed to open cases. And so we open as many cases as is needed right away if there's a bunch that are about to expire. And then, we work towards present day. When we're caught up, which we can open up to 30 cases a day, so we catch up very quickly. 30 cases is our like average general. But if we see, like with Pattern, they had thousands of cases. We'll open 500 in a day if we need to. And at that point, if you're over $1 million, then we're in your account twice a week. If you're under $1 million, we're in your account once per week.
Okay.
There's no limit. Like we have the Seller Central Amazon Partner Network API, so we can run that in. There's no limitation as far as API calls. So yeah, we could, if we wanted to, run it daily. It just that's overkill. So we're in there once a week.
Got it. Thanks. And on the reimbursement part of it, I know some people have issues sometimes defining the actual cost of the lost product, right? The wholesale cost, is it the list price, etc. What's your background of that? Is there any sort of way you have been able to negotiate on that part of it being like, no, it's actually, this is how much the total cost was after me prepping it, shipping it, etc., or is it pretty much just the invoice cost?
It's better. You're gonna like this answer. So they reimburse you as if you made the sale. So it's actually, you get to keep the profit as well. So let's say the product is selling for $20 and you take home $5. That's what it's going to be generally. The caveat being that if the price is fluctuating, I think they take the average price over the past 60 days. So if it went from 15 to 18, 20 to 22, they're not going to give you the 22 price. They're going to take the average over that amount of time. But Amazon can get like finicky on that as well. They'll try to lowball you and say like, oh yeah, it was in the past 60 days, it's $15. So here's our offer. And that's where our team goes back and says, no, actually the average price over the past 60 days was 18, and this is for 100 units, so that $3 difference adds up. That's $300. So, but it's as if the product was sold, and then they deduct the FBA fee, they deduct their referral fee, all of their fees, and of course they don't deduct your cost. So your cost is whatever your cost was, but it's as if you made a sale. We will get borderline harassment if we see something like $10,000 or more. We're like, dude, this is $10,000. You need to find the invoice. I mean, it's common sense. But yeah, you should look into setting up an Excel or a Google Drive, like shared folder. We can do that. I can put you in touch with Lori from the Philippines, and get that set up if that makes it easier. But yeah, like it's good. It's basically like it's hands off to the extent that it can be. When it's not, we'll remind you and say, there's money out there, like free money. You work very hard for your profit. This money is just going to disappear if you don't do something. So yeah, it's always good to have like somebody in the background reminding you to, do what you should do and get the money back. That's right. I'll leave that up to Joe, but I think the answer is yes.
Yeah, I'll need to get a confirmation from my sales manager for sure. But yeah, I'll definitely look into helping you guys out. And yeah.
Yeah, and if you guys, like part of the Carbon6 like entire business model is having more than one tool that people can offer. So Seller Investigators is incredible because people get money back and they're happy, and we're happy for them. I literally have called people and been like, dude, have you checked your account? They're like, what? I'm like, have you logged in? They're like, what happened? Like we the other day got a $400,000 case reimbursed. Like a guy got a $400,000 check. Obviously, we're talking huge numbers here, but it matters for if it's a $2,000 check, it's 50. It happens, and it's fun. It's exciting. It's just money right back in your pocket. But that's money to reinvest in your business. And I'm getting long-winded now, but if you guys use more than one tools, if you say, hey, yeah, I want to do Seller Investigators and I'm interested in WallySmarter or any of the Carbon6 tools, Joe can hook you up and get you special pricing, not just on Seller Investigators, but on the other tools as well. We like people that use more than one of our tools for obvious reasons, and we take care of you. For sure. Any other questions there about Seller Investigators or WallySmarter or ScanUnlimited?
Not specifically, but you mentioned other tools in the Carbon6 portfolio. Are there anything else you recommend for Amazon sellers, specifically maybe within Canada, which works in Canada, which you recommend checking out?
Almost all of our tools work in Canada. It was funny to see that WallySmarter doesn't. WallySmarter is our first tool that reaches into the Walmart domain. Everything else is extremely Amazon centric. Earlier we talked about SoStocked, like briefly, about how I was not going to cover that. But SoStocked is an incredibly useful tool for forecasting and inventory management. When it comes to wholesale and arbitrage, these are the most like beneficial tools for you. If you guys do private label, that opens up a lot of doors as far as like our tool suite goes. But for you guys, the tools that I mentioned already and SoStocked are the most useful. If anybody here does private label and would like more information, all of our private label tools work pretty much worldwide. US, Europe, Australia, UAE. But again, I didn't come here. I talked to Jordan ahead of time, and he said, we're mostly wholesale and arbitrage, and so I wasn't going to come in here and talking to you about on Amazon PPC and Google traffic and a lot of other things. So I tried to focus on what I think would give you guys value. But if anybody is interested in learning more about private label tools, the quick answer is yes, everything works in Canada. But I think it would be a waste of your time unless you're interested in getting into the private label space or if you're already in it.
Thanks.
Yeah, the SoStock pricing, Jordan, if you can believe it, just doubled on March 1st. Yeah, so there was some people that thought it wasn't pricey enough. It's as far as like inventory management goes, I don't think there's another tool that like even holds a candle to it. It's an incredible forecasting tool that takes into account daily adjusted velocity. It can understand what was, where the spikes are during a certain year. Um, if you're running any advertising campaigns, if you're a private label seller, it can take into account that. But, wholesale running out of stock isn't the end of the world, and private label running out of stock is the end of the world because your ranking plummets and a lot of other things happen. But honestly, I'm usually talking to private label sellers when I'm talking about SoStocked. Jordan, you would probably do a better presentation than I would on SoStocked and how wholesalers and people doing arbitrage could use it. And most of my training with SoStocked is for private label. So, but if you guys are having inventory issues, is the quick way to say it, and you'd like a free trial, Joe can help you with that. I can help you with that. It is based on your order volume, so it's not like a flat fee. It starts at it used to start at $79 a month. I guess it's double that. If you guys are interested in that software, I can get you the pricing that existed a week ago. I'll just need you to email Joe, which Joe, you said you put it in the chat, your email?
Yeah, it's in the general.
Okay. Got it. I see it. Okay. Yeah. So because we're in this group and it seems cozy and you guys are all cool, if you guys are interested in that, we can get you the original pricing. And even that's I'm not gonna be able to do that come April 1st. So if in the month of March you guys are like, oh, I'm ready to make the jump, or I think this is the right tool for me, we'll be able to get that price for you until April 1st. And then after that, like there's not even any backdoor pricing, so to say. Any other questions or any other like just pain points in general? Anything anybody wants to talk about? Yeah. Three Colts is like truly our only competitor. Between you and me, I think we have a better business model. So for whatever that's worth, but yeah, Three Colts is a solid company too. Awesome. Yeah, guys. I guess I can put this in the general chat too. I'll shoot you guys my email. Is that where I should have put it in the general chat? Okay, I don't even see Joe's message actually, but I'm gonna be honest. I suck at Discord. Okay.
I'll drop it in
Anyways,
general as well.
okay. Yeah. My and I don't know if you guys use LinkedIn. Like I didn't use LinkedIn until like I started with Carbon6. Oh, this is good. Can you guys still see my screen? Okay, so yeah, we have a $500 off reimbursement by using this code as well. This is from the ASD. So it technically wasn't for you guys, but if you scan this code for seller investigators, you can get $500 off. Obviously, it's free until you get reimbursement. So scan that for sure. If you're interested in seller investigators, and message Joe because that won't get you like a specific percentage. It'll just get you $500 off. Joe will be able to change any percentages manually on the back end. And then this is my QR code. If you guys want to connect on LinkedIn, you know, if you're anything like me, you get off of a call and you think about 5 freaking things that you wish you'd have brought up. So if there's any thing I can help with you guys in the future, like that's my QR code and this is my email. So feel free to take a picture or screenshot or whatever. And then, yeah, like I know a lot of people in the space. I'm not a wholesale expert, but I know some great people in the space. So if I don't know the answer, I'll just tell you straight up. And I'll put you in contact with somebody that does. I'm sure Jordan knows a ton, and you guys all know a ton, but it never hurts to meet more people in the industry. So if there's anything I can help with, just let me know. Jaden, I got your request, man. Connected, just like that. That's
It's
friends.
ironic. So, what's fascinating to me is Carbon6 is a Toronto-based company. If correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong. No. So technically, we're founded in the U.S. We're out of Delaware, but our headquarters and our offices are in Toronto. So if any of you guys are Toronto-based and you want to come by and check out the office,
Come say hi, grab a coffee with me.
yeah, we
Yeah.
have a big team there. Open door policy. Come through whenever.
Yeah, on King Street.
All right, guys. I guess that's it. I super appreciate you guys taking the time. I know it's a Tuesday afternoon and there's better stuff to do than drone on about different software tools, but that's what makes you guys unique. You know, you're willing to put in the time and the hustle to make it online, and I love that. I love chatting with people like you guys, and it was actually cool how many questions you asked. You'd be surprised how many of these I do, and nobody says a damn word. It gets awkward. %, anytime.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having. Hopefully, we provided some value.
All right, guys, take care.
Yeah, if you have any questions, shoot us emails. We're always happy to help.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.